What's up guys, RuppDat here with my next champion battle from the PAX Pokemon, this past PAX Pokemon League. I gotta figure out a better way to word these. Anyway, my third challenger, I think this was the third day at this point. My first two challengers both approached me on the second day of the convention. I think this was the third day at this point. My third challenger is a guy by the name of LunarGabe, or Lunar God, I guess, as his in-game name would imply. He brought a team of Tornadus Therian, Mimikyu, Volcarona, Excadrill, Kyurem Black, and Mega Venusaur. We ultimately did decide to allow Kyurem Black this time around. Kyurem Black has normally been banned at past PAXs, but we figured at West we'd give it a shot, and it didn't really prove to be too much trouble. At least in many people's opinions, most of us thought it wouldn't really be a make or break kind of mon like some others tend to think. As far as my team is concerned, I got a bit of an interesting team this time around. Survey-wise, his favorite type is Dark, which is why I brought Umbreon to the mix this time. Getting a chance to use a wall I don't normally get to use. His least favorite type is Ice, noticing a bit of a theme here as far as people not liking the Ice type for some reason. Maybe because a lot of people just like dragons and don't like Ice types? Who knows? But I saw this as an excuse to bring Alolan Ninetales a second time and give it another chance. His favorite color is blue, so switching things up in that department, since I was still a bit off-put by the damage Mega Gyarados caused in my last battle, I decided to switch things up for my Bluemon and bring Swellow this time. Good old Choice Spec Swellow. The number he picked was 16, so once again I'm using a Rock-type Silvally for this. Not as good of a matchup in this go-around in some areas, but still fairly good in others at least. He said his favorite in-game trainer was N, which N was a bit of an interesting late edition ad for me. I ultimately decided to go with Zoroark for him because they made a big deal, at least in Black 2, White 2, of the Zorua of his that you get for sure in, God, I can never remember what city. Is it Driftvale? Is it Driftvale City? Whichever city that Clay's the gym leader in. I can never remember off the top of my head. I know, that's really bad of me. But, so I decided to go with a Zoroark for him. Interesting note about this Zoroark, it is one of two Zoroarks I have. The other is actually among my Dark-type ranks. The Zoroark I have that as a possible Dark-type option is actually the event one that came out in 6th Gen that knows Sludge Bomb. This one, representing N, is actually a Zorua I had from my Black 2, White 2 version. Actually, my Black 2 version, to be more specific. That I've been sitting on for way too long. I decided to trade it up to my Ultra Sun, my Ultra Sun version. I was using Ultra Sun. I can never remember what version I'm using half the time. That sounds really bad. But I decided to trade it up all the way. I did not get it to level 100 to bottle cap it, so it's still sitting at the all 30 IVs that all of N's Pokemon sit at. But that's still very good EVs and IVs. Sorry, I did re-EV train it. And I figured it would probably serve a good purpose in here. So let's get into the battle and see how well that exactly worked out, shall we? So LunarGabe here is going to issue a challenge to me. He wants to get into the Hall of Fame. I don't blame him. I'm going to lead with Concept again. My Silvally is just getting ready to try and put in some more work. He's going to lead with Tornadus Therian. So, I feel this is a fairly good matchup for me, at least until I see him show Superpower right out of the gate, which is going to do a tremendous amount of damage to me, which does not help at all. But his attack and defense are going to lower. He reveals Life Orb here, and I'm going to get off a Parting Shot that's going to further lower this thing's attack, as well as down its special attacks, just in case it's packing Hurricane, which, let's be honest, I'm pretty sure it is. What Tornadus doesn't pack Hurricane? This allows me to send out Snow Angel with the intent of setting up an Aurora Veil to try to get my team moving in the right direction early on in this game. And also for extra chit damage because that always helps against Tornadus. He's going to fire off a Heat Wave here, and This is still going to do way too much damage for my liking, even though this thing is -1. I know I'm weak to fire, but Alolan Ninetales usually has fairly decent special defense, and he was at -1 as well, so that led me to believe maybe he's more specially invested. Regardless, I get the Veil up, and he's going to take this opportunity to switch into his Kyurem Black, as I just go ahead and switch out myself here, not wanting to take any more damage, and send out Midnight, who is my Umbreon. And I'm going to tell you right now, this Kyurem Black was quite a pain this game, to say the least. It's not going to be this turn you're going to get to see that, however, because he's just going to get out of there and go straight into Excadrill. I presume he was trying to dodge maybe a potential Toxic, which is in fact what I decided to go for with no luck, unfortunately. Well, we're both going to get buffeted by the hail. I'm going to get my HP back because I have leftovers. Not often I've actually seen Excadrill out without sand. This is actually a bit odd for me. I'm so used to seeing this thing as a sand rusher, as odd as that is to say, because I know Excadrill does have fairly good usage even outside of sand. But he's going to set rocks up. I'm going to go ahead and Foul Play and do a tremendous amount of damage to this Excadrill. He's going to go ahead and get out of here at this point and decide to go into Volcarona as I fire off another Play Rough, which is not going to do a lot to Volk because it is obviously not much of a physical attacker. I figure he's going to go for a Quiver Dance, so I take the opportunity to go ahead and set up a Wish while he goes ahead and starts dancing. I know it was a bit risky, but my Veil is still intact at this point, and I feel comfortable enough trying to pass the Wish to Concept because it is Rock-type, and my best chance of getting rid of this Volcarona. Had he attacked on this turn, then this really could have been a problem for me, because even behind the Veil, the Rock's damage would have given him a great opening to take me out. But he's going to Quiver Dance a second time, trying to really get set up, make sure he can outspeed everything, and of course, try to fire through my Veil as strongly as possible. Unfortunately for him, as my Silvally receives the Wish, his Giga Drain isn't doing much behind the Veil, and this being a more specially defensive Silvally. So Concept is free to fire off a Rock-type multi-attack, and that is the end of my Volcarona nightmare. Unfortunately, this is where my Veil goes out, and where his Mega Venusaur comes in. Well, it's not Mega yet, but now it's Mega. Concept still does outspeed this thing, even though I have no speed investment, because Mega Venusaur is usually on the slower side. So I am feeling confident enough to stay in, get a parting shot off on it, just so I can try to put myself in a better position to handle this thing later. And its Concept leaves the field. I'm going to send out Kibo, who is the Mega Heracross I have from, I forgot to point this out. Gonta Gokuhara, who is one of our Elite Six, and based off the Danganronpa character, I believe, was his most memorable PPL battle, which kind of makes sense, because I believe that those two are actually friends, if I recall correctly. But, yeah, Kibo the Mega Heracross. Gonta actually used a Mono Bug team, which worked out fairly well for him, because he is, I believe that character is a bug-obsessed kind of guy. Anyway, getting caught up, his Venusaur's Giga Drain is going to do nothing to Heracross. I'm going to Mega Evolve this turn as he switches into an Therian, which, despite the resisted hits, is not going to appreciate taking this 5-hit Pin Missile at all. But I do not want to fall victim to a Hurricane, assuming he doesn't miss it, so this is where I send Concept out, kind of unfortunately sacking it off at this point, because I know, unless I'm able to somehow get another Wish off to it, which I don't think he's going to allow me to pull that off again. Concept, after taking Rock damage, has kind of unfortunately outlived its usefulness for this game. But this is going to allow me to send Midnight back out now, still at full health. The Rock's going to put a bit of a hole into that, but I'm going to go ahead and Protect, figuring he's going to Superpower this turn, just to kind of see how far it gets some lefties back. He tries to taunt me instead, which I thought was kind of interesting. But I'm going to get some HP back with leftovers. I decide this Tornadus has been around long enough and opt to get rid of it this turn. Now, of course, he goes for Superpower. I think he actually predicted the Protect and just tried to burn a move. Which, I mean, he could have just Superpowered twice in a row anyway. Protect, I would have had a 50% chance of getting a double Protect. That's how it works. But I am going to get the foul play off and put Tornado's Theory out of commission, thankfully. Get some leftovers recovery back, but unfortunately Midnight is heavily dented. He's going to send out Kyurem Black, though. And I'm not too bothered because I know I can actually live a hit from this thing, especially after I protect up, to be able to get some lefties back. So I feel at this point I can get some leftovers back, live a hit, get a wish off, heal up, and then I've got a free opportunity to basically start firing off foul plays and really denting this thing. He reveals Iron Head, however, and he flinches me. I do believe this is actually a Choice Scarf Kyurem Black, just judging off of something that's going to happen later in this battle. Yeah, this is definitely Choice Scarf, just because of something that does happen later. I try to protect anyway, just to kind of stall him out a bit more. Unfortunately, that flinch put me in a position where I'm going to die to another Iron Head regardless, which is very unfortunate. But he fires off the Iron Head. Midnight's going to go down, unfortunately, which kind of frustrates me. I send out Kibo at this point because I know I can take an Iron Head from this thing, and I can fire off Rock Blast or even a close combat and do this thing in. He's going to go for Iron Head again, and he's going to flinch me again. So he's 2 for 2 on Iron Head flinches, as the second one is going to finish Kibo off, which I was actually getting a little annoyed at this point. I tried not to show it, because obviously, you know, but this was a point where I was not having very much fun, when the whole point of this was to have fun. Regardless, I'm going to send Kite out. He's going to get Kyurem out of there and go into Excadrill. And this is where Excadrill is going to find out that this might not exactly be what it appears to be. I mean, that should have been a given because it didn't take as much as a Swallow should from Rock's damage. This is my Zoroark. And if the Stealth damage wasn't a dead giveaway, the Focus Blast certainly was, because I'm pretty sure Swallow does not get Focus Blast. So he's going to send Kyurem back out at this point. He's going to go for an Ice Beam. And Zoroark is actually going to be able to live on 4 HP. My Disguise is going to go. And I am going to be able to hit another Focus Blast. And despite still being at only 30 IVs across the board, with the Life Orb, it's still going to be enough to actually take out Kyurem Black. Unfortunately, because of the aforementioned Life Orb, this is where I lose my Zoroark. But N did put in some work for me and saved the day for me near the end, so thank you, my friend, / ideological rival, I suppose. With Double Down situation, I have, I believe, 2 mods left at this point to his... I believe it's 2v2 at this point. Yeah, it is. I'm going to send out Snow Angel, and I get an Aurora Veil off, just trying to set up for endgame, because, as you probably saw, Swallow is the only other thing I have left. He's going to go ahead and pick me off with Sludge Bomb, which I'm fine with, because behind the Veil, despite the Rock's damage, Swallow with Choice Specs has a chance to win this game for me. So all hope is not necessarily lost quite yet. I'm going to proceed to fire off Boom Burst, because it's the strongest thing I have to fire against the 2 mons he has left. I mean, Specs, Stab, it's definitely going to hurt. It did over half a Mega Venusaur. He's gonna Leech Seed me. And Hail and Leech Seed is unfortunately a bit of a nasty combination. But I know for a fact this Mega Venusaur is not going to be able to take another Boom Burst. So I proceed, I'm locked into it anyway, so it's all full steam ahead for Kite. That crit was kind of irrelevant. You saw how much damage Boom Burst did the first time around. I'm gonna take Hail damage this time. And his last Mon is Mimikyu. At this point, I'm thinking that I might actually have this game in the bag. Because I proceed to Boom Burst to break this thing's disguise. He can only really hit me with Play Rough, which I should live because of the Aurora Veil. So I'm actually feeling fairly good about this at this point. He does knock me low, but the Aurora Veil does allow me to live. He lowers my attack, which is irrelevant. I'm going to get hit by the Hail. I'm thinking, alright, I've got this in the bag because my next Boom Burst should kill him. Because he can't Shadow Sneak me because I'm Normal type. But I forgot about the Leech Seed in that line of thinking. And that is how I am going to fall in this game as we crown our second entrant into the PPL Hall of Fame for West 2018. Still, that was a phenomenal battle, Gabe, and it definitely came down to the wire. I'm a little disappointed myself that I forgot about the leech seed in that final turn. The Iron Head flinches from Kirin Black were very unfortunate as well. I am a bit salty on that still, not gonna lie, looking back on it. But, bit of a longer battle, bit of a more challenging battle, and I do fall, but it was a great battle nonetheless, and aside from the Iron Head flinches, I can't really complain about too much. It was a great game all around, and definitely a very close game. So, thank you guys so very much for watching this little battle of the Titans. I have been RuppDat, and I will catch you guys next time. Take care.